why dating an OnlyFans girl is not the way to go. Anti-gooner propaganda. Answer the question, coward. If two... I can give you an answer, actually. I've been to a convention before. I know exactly what gooners smell like. And it's not just a lack of deodorant. It is a mix of after goon smell, no deodorant, whatever sort of like musk that they try to spray on themselves to mask it, whatever food that they've eaten that day. I am very aware of what a gooner smells like. So it smells like downtown India. I don't know. I've never been to downtown India. The after goon smell. Yep. Yep. If you have ever, done that for yourself, you would know that you start to smell differently. It's just science. Okay? This is how people become attracted to people, right? They got the smell, the pheromones or something. It's science.
This guy has bad opinions about Freerin.
This guy has bad opinions about Freerin? No! Well, maybe he's willing to make an exception about Powdur, huh? Maybe we can bring him over to the white-haired elf side someday, huh? Maybe. What is the smell of a female gooner? I don't know. And you'll never find out. What did he say about Freerin? Right? What did he say about Freerin? What was his opinion about Freerin, actually? I think he's talking about think before you sleep, not talking about Tectone. Right? Powdur, would you please react to StarCraft versus Warhammer 40k in a not one-sided as you think by Das Rat stories? Maybe someday. Drop it in the Discord. Tectone and Mizkif? What a hellhole. No, we're talking about OnlyFans girls. Don't worry. It's okay. Hopefully not too much about Mizkif. Hopefully not too much. Kind of seems like Mizkif has just been kind of being a drama whore lately. I really didn't like what Mizkif and Hassan had to say about Chibi reviews. Oh, I especially didn't like Hassan's opinion about what happened to Chibi reviews. He was just being so willfully ignorant, it was really hard to watch. As if, like, no guys could even think about what it would be like to lose your significant other and to lose your family and to want to, like, drink yourself till almost death. Like, what? Why is that so hard to believe when you lose so much? It's just annoying to me. Just a bunch of losers fighting each other. Cat eat. Yeah. I don't understand OnlyFans porn is free in this day and age. Yeah, I know. Porn is free. The son doesn't have a soul, so... Hi, Vixie! Hello! It was just really annoying to see. I didn't like that opinion. At all. Did you see that Hassan pissed off his trans audience? No. No. You know, things are changing, guys. Sorry, before we get into the video, things are changing a bit. In America.
What happened to Chibi was rough. That level of betrayal on top of everything else. Yeah, I get it, and hope he gets higher on his feet.
Yeah, so far it seems like he's doing okay. As much as he can be. It seems like things are changing a little bit. At least in America. I don't know about anywhere else currently, but it seems like the average everyday person was not ready for trans people. You know, we've already been like, okay, it's okay to be gay, it's okay to be lesbian, right? But trans, nope. That kind of got shoved right into our faces way too soon. And so a lot of people are beginning to push back against it. And the people in charge are being like, oh shit, you know? And they're kind of making it more allowed to be anti-trans. So that's personally what I've been seeing going on. Because you already have, you know, people are like pro-gay and pro-lesbian and stuff like that. But trans, that's a little too far. Even LGB people don't want trans in their thing. Yeah, I've seen that. They've all the gay people have like their own like infighting and stuff like that. I don't get too involved because I am not gay. but I see some of it on social media. People tolerated it, but as soon as they started indoctrinating kids in schools and all that stuff, it was GG. I think they've successfully done other things, but trans was too soon. People weren't ready for that. People weren't prepared. It took a while even with that. Okay, the video, Powder. Yes, sir, you're right. Okay, the video. Yep. Sorry. We got a video to watch. Okay, so think before you sleep. This guy's gonna say a lot of things that I already think in my head, but maybe, just maybe, only because I've seen one video of his, we'll have different opinions. We'll see. He just seemed like a well-spoken guy, so let's find out.
Tectone went to court today, and he lost the court case against Pink Chew. Tectone, with his 5 lawyers, lost. She had 1, and she won. That's how bad it was. For the next 10 years, Tectone can't own guns and has to pay all of her attorney fees, which is hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Thanks, Ms. Kiff. We can always trust you to report things accurately. In case you haven't heard, Twitch streamer Tectone and an ex-girlfriend of his who goes by Pink Chew have been in a legal battle after Pink Chew publicly accused Tectone of sexually assaulting her. Recently, Pink Chew filed for a protective order, which is to prevent stalking and harassment, and Tectone lost a motion to get it dismissed. Now, before we get into all this, let me just say that I'm not even remotely neutral on whose side I'm on. I started out neutral. I started out with the mindset of, let's take a look at the facts of the case. Maybe there's some nuance here. Maybe both parties did something bad at certain points. Usually that's how relationships in particular work. But my mind changed when I began researching, and I think after you guys watching see the details, you'll come to the same conclusion that I did, which is that this is a massive failure of the justice system, which is why this video is a defense of Tectone. It's about how, in my opinion, none of the assault allegations were true, and it's about how this whole situation was a coordinated effort from multiple streamers to ruin his career.
Whoa. Coordinated effort. Ooh. Were they conspiring together? Ooh, juicy. I'm gonna up the volume a bit. All right, I'm listening.
That being said, Tectone or John is a popular Twitch streamer who started out by playing gacha games.
I played Genshin Impact, so you don't have to. So it's Breath of the Wild, but worse, but with waifus. Also, be careful of shit-talking Paimon's English voice acting.
More recently, Tectone is known for calling out how entitled the least talented video game voice actors are, and for helping expose Hassan Piker as an animal abuser. And this is Pink Chew.
Hey, officer, you ever realize how hard it is to say rough 2 times in a row?
Rough?
Good boy.
Well, that was cringe. Anyway, Pink Chew, who also goes by her middle name Ashley, is an OnlyFans creator who's achieved success after getting a very...
OnlyFans creator. I think he held back. Honestly, I think he was about to say something else.
very noticeable amount of plastic surgery, followed by a generous use of photo editing tools. I mean, this is an...
Oh, wow, wait. At least in this video, yeah, she does look kind of... She does look kind of different. I think maybe it's the lips. A lot of girls when they, you know, are sex work... Wait, is that Tectone in the back? A lot of girls when they do like sex work and stuff, they get their lips done. That's like the first thing girls do is they get their lips done. I feel like they really don't need it. Like, it looks fine.
After getting a very noticeable amount of plastic surgery, followed by a generous use of
She
photo
was a
editing
VTuber?
tools. I mean,
What? Hold on. No, wait, what? Really? Wait, who? What did she go by? I've seen her on Twitter a bunch. No, she's fucking crazy! She's the big titty god constantly suggested. Damn, knew there was something really off. Yeah. Yeah, she had 2 different models. Pink Chew. Oh. I mean, she must... I feel like she must have not been a super successful VTuber. Because... I have no idea who you're talking about. Right? Like, I don't know her as a VTuber. I've only ever seen her as herself. She used to be part of Rafflegators. Oh... Man, Rafflegators spawns VTubers, like, a lot. A lot. I guess if you want a head start in content creation, you just gotta take advantage of Rafflegator, so then you can kind of get an audience from his people and then and then go from there. Holy shit, how many fucking VTubers come from Rafflegator? I feel like it's an alarming amount. Just something I've noticed. She has like 20 Twitter accounts. She has 20... What? What the? They call him the ladder. Oh, man. I don't think he'd like to be called that. Oof. I mean, she's hot, but doesn't have much else worthwhile, just in my opinion. I do not believe her at all. But you don't believe her about the allegations. The sexual assault allegations. Yeah, I mean, I didn't read through the court documents. He'll probably get into it, but I don't know if there was any proof, honestly, like any concrete proof. It kind of sounded like it was just a he said, she said situation. And the judge favored her word over his. Yeah.
by a generous use of photo editing tools. I mean, this is an insane amount of catfishing. I'm not even looking at the same person when I compare a live stream to a photo of her. Which brings us to November 20th, 2024, where Pink Chew goes on an alternate account to make a post accusing someone of forcing her into oral sex.
Ah, yes, this was the post. Yes. Wow, I'm so glad he did his homework because I remember thinking about this post. I remember seeing this post, but I didn't want to bother. I was lazy. I didn't want to go back. How are you supposed to feel if a guy is abusive and makes you cry, then shoves your head on his crotch and demands you suck him off, and his excuse is emotion just turns me on when you cry? Or when you asking that you don't feel comfortable doing something sexual and he records you and demands you stop making faces and pretend you like it. Or you say you don't want to do it anymore and he shoves your head down till you throw up. Guilt trips you into giving BJs and says, do your job, you don't pay rent. I took you to a water park, so you owe me, and all you can do is sleep upstairs because you know what he's going to keep telling you to do.
And everyone immediately assumed that she was talking about Tectone.
If you can believe it, Tectone actually is a piece of shit. His ex-girlfriend, Pinky Chew, she's come out to speak about his sexual assault against her. How do you know that she's referring to Tectone? Because it's on LSF and they're not following each other anymore.
She's referring to this live stream fails post from an anonymous account announcing that Pink Chew was referring to Tectone. I mean, there were also obvious context clues like saying they live together. And who posts something to a public forum if they believe that the audience isn't going to know who they're talking about?
Like, who else could it be?
Clear, everybody on the internet knew this was Tectone, despite her not saying his name in the post. So obviously Tectone had to respond, and he did so at first by not specifically naming who he was talking to.
Shield your eyes! Do not fall for the goon!
About.
So if you're confused, you're going to stay confused. Because this shit is not about content for me. Okay? I know the person who needs to hear this is going to hear this. And I mean this genuinely. I did everything for you. I helped you with everything. I fixed everything for you. I was there for you like nobody else was there for you in your whole life. Your words, not mine.
Now, he does sound pretty mad here, which is why people such as Denims interpreted this as a definite confirmation that he was an abuser.
Your words, not mine.
Oh my God, he even talks like an abuser. Holy shit.
Very glad
Thank you.
Tectone is
It's
such a
generous of you.
dumbass that he doesn't realize how bad this makes him look.
Well, yeah, the problem is that he has an inflated ego and he's stupid, which is like a horrible combination to have.
Well, that was the projection of the century. And though maybe that video out of context was a bad look for Tectone, trust me, as we go over the court transcript, not Mizkif's transcript that his idiot friend wrote, I mean the actual court transcript. So when we go over the real transcript, you're going to understand why Tectone was a little angry there. In fact, I think he was quite polite. That transcript is infuriating knowing that it was used to take someone's First and Second Amendment rights away for 10 years. Anyway, on November 22nd, 2024, 2 days after Pink Chu makes her allegations, Tectone confirms on Twitter that Pink Chu was talking about him.
As many of you are aware, I'm going to try and read this as fast as I can. He puts out a tweet saying, as many of you are aware by now, Pinky Chu, my ex-girlfriend, has accused me of a number of things that I can't let go unaddressed. I have been accused of sexual assault, potentially rape, prostitution, and severe emotional abuse, among other things. I want to make this extremely clear. Everything she accuses me of in her statement is a complete lie. Nothing about these accusations is true. They are entirely made up. Out of respect for our previous relationship, I will give Pinky Chu 2 weeks to apologize for these statements and acknowledge that they are false and inaccurate. If this does not happen, I will pursue legal action against Pink Chu and those who knowingly repeat her lies with a reckless disregard for the truth. I have preserved all text messages, videos, and additional evidence from the time during the relationship and am more than willing to prove my innocence in a court of law. I am more than willing also to comply with any legal investigation into the truth of what actually happened. I am certain that when all facts are laid out, my innocence will be unquestionable. As a victim of sexual assault myself, I find it absolutely disgusting that someone would weaponize a lie on this scale, using false claims of sexual assault and rape as a weapon to achieve some sort of revenge for how a relationship ended does more damage to real victims than almost anything else. It's because of liars like Pink Chu that weaponize trauma that legitimate victims are questioned and aren't trusted. Because of how serious these accusations are, I will not discuss them in any capacity until I am certain there is no other path forward, and I am forced to pursue legal action to clear my name of those malicious lies. Thank you all to my community for sticking with me through this. Y'all's support means the world to me, and I'm not going anywhere. My content will remain unchanged as I have done nothing wrong, and I will never let a baseless lie stop me from doing what I love. Well, thank you, Shantae. That was nice of you. Whew! Is that my after read gift? Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you. Oh, that was a long one. That's okay. This is for context purposes. I felt like that was a pretty good reply to the situation, but his detractors you know, oof.
He says that she has 2 weeks to apologize and admit that her allegations were false, or he will sue her for what I imagine was defamation, citing that he will also pursue legal action against those who knowingly repeat her lies with reckless disregard for the truth. Tectone goes on to say that he's willing to work with law enforcement and is ready to prove his innocence. And then Keemstar comments with some words of wisdom at the end. Which brings us to Travis County and...
Oh yeah, Keemstar gave it. I've seen that one clip of Keemstar. He says the no-no word.
Texas on January 23rd of 2026, and a hearing for a protective order filed by Linda Ashley Lamar, that's Pink Chu, against John Robertson, that's Tectone. Tectone
with his 5 lawyers.
Tectone and his 1 lawyer, that's 1 lawyer, Mizkif. I don't know why you would lie about something that was so easy to disprove.
I'm smart. I'm not going live and saying things that are stupid. I'm not going live and being...
Oh no! Oh no! These edits are so good. Finally found you live. Hi, Lucky. Welcome in. I hope you enjoy your stay. Platypus, thank you for the sub. Oh my gosh.
Not strategic with my words and my actions.
Thorgrim, thank you.
Right. Mizkif sent a friend of his to go to court and take notes on the day of the hearing. Seems like the information wasn't very accurate. So Tectone's 1 lawyer is Joffrey Purrier, a guy with an enviable jawline, and Pink Chu's lawyer is Michelle Locke, an aspiring self-help influencer.
Life is a journey. Life has ups and downs.
Very insightful words of wisdom. Last, the case is being heard by Judge Dimple Malhotra. Just for clarification,
How profound.
this is a civil case. Conveniently, a lot of these types of allegations seem to be tried in civil courts, probably because the burden of proof there is much lower than in criminal courts.
I want you to understand something, chat, that the judge agreed with that. Now, the judge was not empowered to put him in prison directly because that was not a criminal case. Had it been a criminal case and had he been given a bench trial, he would have gone to prison as a rapist right then.
God, these idiots are annoying. For those of you who don't know, Mike from PA is the guy who pretended to be a licensed attorney to run for the Pennsylvania legislature, but the state Supreme Court kicked him off the ballot after they found him misrepresenting himself. Now he's pretending to be an authority on the law on Twitch. Spoilers, most of the law influencers get shit wrong all the time, and they aren't really that trustworthy. Anyway, in reality, there was a police investigation, but it didn't go anywhere, let alone prosecute. So Pink Shoe claimed that she would put a pause on pressing criminal charges because she was afraid of Tectone retaliating, which I don't believe because he publicly said he would cooperate with the police. And also, if Pink Shoe was actually afraid, she wouldn't have continued to attack Tectone legally. Personally, I think the only reason that a protective order was filed is because she wants to attack him, and there's no way in hell that she would have won a criminal case. Now, just so it's less confusing, and because there's no video of this hearing, as we go over the transcript, I'll put pictures on the side of who is talking. That being said, Pink Shoe's lawyer starts her opening statement by blaming Pink Shoe's lack of evidence to corroborate her story on the fact that she's autistic.
Your Honor, my client is
Mike
retarded.
has so many clips of him getting cooked by women.
Your Honor, my client is retarded. She she didn't do nothing wrong. I had no idea this was part of it. There's no way. I had no clue this was even part of it.
Your Honor, my client pleads TISM for lack of evidence.
Oh my gosh. Case dismissed. My dog ate my evidence. Yeah. Wow. OnlyFans, a woman, and retarded. Pick a struggle. Wow. Wombo combo. But she's hot though, right, guys? Right. I don't think you can fix this one. I don't think so, guys. I mean, she went all the way to court, right? Oof.
Pink Shoe's primary argument here is that, as a person who was nearly 30 at the time, she didn't realize that she was being abused until someone else told her, because she...
What? Dude. Oh, God. I was not aware I was being sexually abused at the time. Okay, can you explain that? I did not until I confided to a friend after I knew what was going on was not good and I didn't know what to call it. Oh my God. Who's this friend? Who's this friend? Sue the friend!
Your Honor, I'm retarded.
Yeah.
She's very slightly autistic. What, did they take that argument from TikTok? So anyway, you know, if there's like a mountain of evidence showing that this was all consensual, well, just ignore that because Pink Shoe changed her mind after the breakup.
Your Honor, my client is full of Botox and no brains. She has autism, by the way.
Yep. Thank you for the bits.
And after Tectone got into a relationship with a different woman. What a convenient set of
Sophia.
circumstances. That being said, let's go to the first allegation of assault. Pink Shoe said that she had recently gotten breast implants, so this is a plastic surgery related allegation. Now, I'm going to redact.
Breast implants give you autism. Oh no. Save yourselves. Women, do not put the plastic in your body. It will go to your head.
Some of this information to make it YouTube safe, but the page numbers are all there, so you can just look it up for yourself. Basically, the allegation was that Pink Chu could not perform because of her recent surgery, so Tectone found other non-consensual means, allegedly.
Wait, I want to read. I want to read it. I want to read it. This is why you stay flat. At least I'm not autistic. Anyways, thanks for that.
Breast implants make me retarded. You know what? I believe you.
Yeah, thanks. Do you think you could still suck my dick? And I was like, I told you I can't. Like, the doctor said I have to lay up straight, so I'm going to lay up straight. What happened next? He then grabbed my shoulders and put me over his stomach, blah, blah, blah. It's like redacted. And did you consent to him doing that? I told him I can't. Okay, so it's just like, guys. This is just so embarrassing. Like, your whole sex life is just out there for any and everyone to, like, see. That... Ah, jeez.
For recent surgery, so Tectone found other non-consensual means, allegedly.
Much love to this queen. I mean, seriously, I'm sorry that you had to go through all of that and then probably get traumatized altogether one more time in the court process, but at least now you have a moment of respite.
To further elaborate on the context here, Pink Chu testifies that she had been living with Tectone in exchange for sexual favors. Personally, I don't believe this version of the story at all. After reading through the transcript, it is very clear to me that they were living together because they were in a relationship. For reference, Pink Chu and Tectone's relationship started in December of 2022, and they broke up around June or July of 2024.
That's a pretty decently long relationship, too. Can this Hassan guy keep himself safe, please?
About a month later, in July or August, Tectone meets his now fiancée, Sophia, and a few months later, in November, Pink Chu accuses Tectone of sexual assault. Which brings us to the second allegation. Again, pictures are here to...
Suspicious. Very suspicious. Incredible. Wait, let's look at the...
This version of the story at all. After reading through the transcript, it is very clear to me that they were living together because they were in a relationship. For reference, Pink Chu and Tectone's relationship started in December of 2022, and they broke up around June or July of 2024. About a month later, in July or August...
I moved on fast. Jeez. Men aren't allowed to be happy. How dare you? How dare you? No, it's really sad. It is. More men should be happy. If more men were happy, we would live in a better world. Actually, if more men were mad, and then they got happy, that would be good.
Parents to children will tell with delight. Freedborn and freedmen together recite. Earth's weary bondmen will listen with cheer. Tyrants shall tremble, and traitors shall fear, when in its fullness of glory they hear the story of Washington and Lincoln. Happy President's Day, yesterday.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. President. Okay. Well, I don't know what to say. Oh, woo, okay. Mr. President! Mr. President, stop sending billions of dollars to Israel, please! Mr. President! What are you doing in the Epstein files, Mr. President? Ha! I have some questions for you. So he moved on pretty quick to Sophia. They seem to be like they're, obviously, they're engaged now, by the way, if you didn't know. They're engaged. I think he mentioned that earlier in the video, actually. Oops. But they seem to be happy together. I don't know if Sophia's really like an influencer either. I think she does like fitness stuff. So that's kind of nice, because you have Tectone, who's like kind of more into drama and stuff like that and the gotcha games, and then you have Sophia, who does like fitness stuff. She has a
Gee, I wonder why
much
he
healthier
moved
hobby.
on so quick.
Gee, I wonder why he moved on so quick. Yeah. Yeah. Well, now he's dating someone that, or engaged to someone. He's engaged to someone who betters himself outside of his work as well, right? With her, like, being a fitness person, that is really good for him. So he can be like the best version of himself. And she provides that for him. So that's really nice. Tectone's type is borderline actual mental institution patients. I don't know. From what I've seen, the only downside I've seen of Sophia is that she gave him a bowl of cold chili. So maybe she doesn't know how to work the microwave all too well. But that's the only downside that I've seen. You know? And that's not too bad, right? But we'll see. It's tough when you're a content creator and you're in a relationship, especially with someone like Tectone, who is very well known in this space. His life, everyone, like his life, everyone knows about it. Everyone knows about his sex life, especially now, and all the drama he's been in, and he's close friends with Asmongold, so it's probably pretty rough for him, and hopefully it doesn't affect his relationship too much. She's a gym gal. She seems down to earth. Yeah. From what I've seen, I agree with that. You should stop. I already reported you. This is getting way too political. Dude, I'm talking about chili. What's political about chili? I'm talking about the food chili, by the way. I'm not talking about... I'm talking about food. What do you mean? You want to get political? We could get political, but I don't feel like it right now. I don't care. I'm here to talk about hoes and gooning, okay? Someone said chili, ice noises. Oh, it's so racist, Powder. So racist. Yeah, no fun. You're no fun, mister. Whatever. I get it. You don't like chili. Okay, racist. You can get out of my chat. You've been banned anyway, stinky stonker. Saying it's good to better yourself is too political. Yeah, I'm actually kind of curious what they meant by political. I don't think I really said anything political, right? I think I was just talking about relationships. Oh, well. I heard you're racist, so who are you racing against? Myself, to get to the end of this video within 3 hours. It's a tough race. It's tough. Well, I'm working on it. I'm gonna play the video.
Tectone meets his now fiancée, Sophia, and a few months later, in November, Pinkchu accuses Tectone of sexual assault. Which brings us...
Yeah. No, girls, I get it, because I'm a woman myself. We're conniving. We are. Can't have them move on. Can't have them be happy. There's a sort of possession that girls have.
To the second allegation. Again, pictures are here to indicate who is in the conversation. If you see a Q, though, that means a lawyer is talking, and if you see an A, that's going to be either Tectone or Pinkchu talking. Anyway, Pinkchu said that she had just gotten lip filler, and Tectone had forced her into oral sex, which had ruined the lip filler. Geez, another plastic surgery-related incident? Do all of her allegations have some sort of plastic surgery involved? Now, is there any corroborating evidence that this happened? Not really. There may have been a doctor's appointment where she had to get the lip filler fixed. However, that doesn't prove anything because she could have just as easily screwed up the filler through regular consensual activity or something else entirely. But these are pretty much the allegations of assault. Now, when I say that Pinkchu had no evidence of this stuff occurring, understand that her own testimony counts as evidence from a legal standpoint. So allow me to clarify what I mean. I'm saying she had no additional evidence to verify the truth of her story. And let me point out just how ridiculous this is.
So you could just lie, and then it works. Oh, God.
Tectone is a guy who is constantly on camera.
There's like a good 8 to 10 people who have already said, he didn't do it. We know he didn't do it. We were there when they said it happened. That never happened. They say there's a third girl. They don't exist. They don't realize that the entirety of, a large portion of my house is fucking filmed on the inside. I have security cameras on the inside. That's how fucking paranoid I am.
This is a guy who streams for multiple hours a day, plus the couple streams that he did with Pinkchu. You're going to tell me that you have no footage, no audio recordings, and no text that make him look abusive or make him look like a stalker? You also have no testimony from other witnesses saying that Tectone was abusing you? This is despite the fact that there were 2 roommates living with them the entire time. So either Tectone is this master manipulator who can get away with all of this without a trace, which is a weird thing to argue, because
he was just manipulating everyone. Oh, man.
his opposition is constantly calling him stupid.
When he's literally I don't know how anyone fucking ever listened to this guy.
He's dumb as fuck. I honestly think he needs to be arrested just so he can experience what that is like, so he shuts the fuck up and goes away.
I genuinely don't understand how someone could be so fucking stupid.
It kind of makes you wonder, like, what did Tectone do to, like, aggro these people, right? Like, did he ever do anything personal to these people, or are they being, like, Twitter people, where they just jump aboard the, hate train? He just didn't agree with them. He called Denims a whore. Yeah, but that was after... That was after this situation, right? He's a tall white American. You know what? Why did I even ask? Why did I even have to ask? That ding 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 ding. That is the answer. Oh, and he's bald. Oh yeah. Yeah, they're, don't like the baldies, right?
To think that this is a good response.
So either he is this master manipulator who can fool anyone, or none of this shit happened, in my opinion. On that note, Pinkchu's lawyer has finished questioning her client, so let's...
Judge me by my enemies, this applies. I really hope he can get this reverse.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how the appeals process works.
Let's go to cross-examination from Tectone's lawyer, Joffrey. Before we get into this, though, it requires some backstory. For those of you who didn't know, Tectone was previously married for like 10 years to a woman whose name is Jessica.
It's Freem! Freem! You know, Freem's actually, she's my, my first model. We're actually like model siblings. We have the same model artist. Not anymore, because now I'm using this model, but I found that kind of interesting. We actually used to follow each other. I remember talking about Tectone and Freem when I was playing Alien Isolation with you guys, and when their divorce began, people were talking about their divorce. It was super popular on Twitter, and I just remember sitting there and being like, man, that sucks. That sucks. To have your divorce so public like that. Ay, ay, ay. So I didn't even choose any sides there. I was just like, I feel bad for both of them. But let's keep watching.
They divorced a while back. Now, to me, the details here are kind of murky because an NDA was signed, and I only really have the court transcript to piece together what was going on. But remember how I said that Tectone has cameras everywhere? Well, it turns out that his ex-wife still had remote access to the cameras after the divorce, and allegedly, she was using some intimate footage between Tectone and Pinkchu to blackmail them. And how this didn't land his ex-wife in jail is beyond me. Anyway, a lawsuit was filed, and a part of this lawsuit included Pinkchu suing Tectone's ex...
Oh! Wow! Sneaky! Wait, I don't know if this is true, but I heard something about Freem cheating on Tectone with, like, his editor. So it sounds like their marriage was extremely toxic. That's what I've heard. Be careful with my words here.
Pink Chu to blackmail them. And how
Thank you
this
for the
didn't land
hydrate.
his ex-wife in jail is beyond me. Anyway, a lawsuit was filed, and a part of this lawsuit included Pink Chu suing Tectone's ex-wife because she called her Tectone's sex slave. Let me repeat this. Pink Chu sued his ex-wife because she accused her of being victimized by Tectone. Pink Chu said it was defamatory to call her an abuse victim.
What? I had no idea this happened. So she... Whoa! I didn't even know. So she sued Freem. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. That's a sue. My goodness.
Not only that, but this lawsuit occurs 1 month after her alleged incidents of abuse, and she says these claims about her from Tectone's ex-wife were disgusting.
Wait, she married someone after having an affair with them on their previous husband? I don't know. I don't know anything about Freem's current relationship, if she's even in a relationship. I just know she was married to Tectone at some point. I heard there were allegations of her cheating on Tectone, and that kind of is what pushed the divorce. Pushed the divorce, or pushed their relationship into a divorce. So, yeah. Oh, she married the editor that she cheated with. Oh. Oh, Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Yeah, yeah, there's, you can see why a lot of people in chat were saying that they, are giving up on dating. Holy shit. Don't black pill. Don't black pill. It's okay. It's gonna be fine.
By Tectone. Pink Chu said it was defamatory to call her an abuse victim. Not only that, but this lawsuit occurs 1 month after her alleged incidents of abuse, and she says these claims about her from Tectone's ex-wife were disgusting lies. What a weird thing to say, right? So that's our first counter to Pink Chu's story, and just right there, throw the case out. You mean to tell me that someone called her an abuse victim and she spent money suing them to say, no, I'm not? The second part of this is that Pink Chu went to a mental hospital in July of 2024, around 1 to 2 months after the alleged victimizations. When she's being questioned by her lawyer, she states that she went to the hospital because she just had to get out of the house. And if your first thought was, that makes no sense, then I would agree with you. This sounds like a lie. Now, I'm not a fan of Illymation, but I do think she has a very insightful video on mental hospitals. People don't go to mental hospitals just because they wanted to get out of the house. They go because they're either a danger to others or they're afraid of harming themselves.
Facilities like this save lives every day. There are 2 types of admission. The first is voluntary, which is where you go to the emergency room and say, "Hi, I don't feel safe. Can you please help me?" And the second is involuntary, which is where your doctor or psychiatrist feels you're at grave risk to yourself or others. So they write you a note and send you to the hospital.
So it's a weird downplay from Pink Chu to say that she just needed to get out of the house. If she wanted to do that, she could have just checked herself into a hotel or something.
Powdur.
Note that Pink Chu has
Void.
more than enough money to do this. Also note that this admission into a mental hospital seems to have happened directly after Tectone broke up with her, so I'm guessing that the breakup caused thoughts of self-harm. Actually, it looks like the redactions here suggest something a little bit worse than self-harm.
Oh my god.
So honestly, I think checking herself into the mental hospital was a psychologically healthy thing to do.
Oh my goodness. Does she has no friends or something? Like she does, what? Jesus.
However, the issue with this
I guess, yeah, if she was gonna harm herself, it's good she went to the mental hospital after a breakup. But oh, it's just all so dramatic, isn't it? This kind of feels like a little over the top. Like I'm watching a movie right now on Netflix.
hospital visit is that it works as evidence against her story of abuse. Let me start by saying that when she's being questioned by her lawyer, Pink Chu said that after she got back from Austin Oaks, the mental hospital, she moved in with her mom, but as she
Thank
was
you for
getting
the
her
follows,
stuff from
guys.
Tectone's house,
Appreciate
she told a
it.
roommate of his about how afraid she was of Tectone. Now, anytime you go to the hospital or see a doctor, they're going to ask you, why are you here?
Right.
Surely if Tectone was so abusive that she just had to get out of the house, and she had
We got an influx of followers. Hello. What's the occasion? Whenever this happens, I'm always curious. Where did you come from? Was it my new? It was my newest YouTube video, right? It hit 1 million views, right? Twitter big mad? Oh, again? What is it this time? Or is it just whatever happened over the weekend? What is it this time? Ay, ay, ay. What's new? Elf woman. Oh, okay. I get it. They're just being racist to elves. I got you. Yeah. That happens to me. When is Twitter not mad? Yeah. You're just too based, pal. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. Gooners came in jealous that they missed the Gooner content over the weekend. Wait, I didn't stream over the weekend. What? Wait, but I'm not Gooner content. Wait, what were you watching over the weekend, huh? What are you talking about? I just saw you on my recommended and finally decided to check you out. Aw, well that's cute. Thank you very much. Thank you guys for the follows. Appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. No, not me, not me. Yeah, busted. Yeah, busted. You see this hat? Busted. I'm gonna have to get the gun out. Quite the ego there, pal. They don't need you to goon. Yeah, you're right. It's okay. I know. I know. I don't know if I should feel good about that or bad about that. I think I'm okay with that, actually. Snake, you didn't have to confirm or deny. You need... Why did my mod say I do? And why did he not delete his message? This motherfucker always deletes his messages when he says something suspicious. But this time he just left it. What kind of community am I breeding? I shouldn't even say the word breed. Mods. Mods ban the mod. Saw that controversial VTuber from X. Oh my god, everyone's talking about breeding now. I'm so sorry. I was trying to read your message. Ah, well. Breeding, whatever, guys. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm gonna watch this video.
To tell his roommate how afraid she was, she would have also told the doctors, well, you see, I have this really abusive ex-boyfriend. But she didn't do that. In fact, the doctors specifically asked her if she had been a victim of abuse. Pink Chu says yes, but she doesn't mention Tectone. She mentions a prior non-Tectone relationship, and that's it. Keep in mind that the time period...
Wait, if she's been in an abusive relationship before, how would she not know what abuse looks... What? Oh my god. This is why nothing makes sense. I saw reposts on Twitter, now I'm here. First thing I hear is breeding. Welcome home. Oh no. Oh jeez. Welcome in. I hope you enjoy your stay. Woman lying? I am in shock. Yeah.
Where she is alleging the abuse happened was 1 or 2 months before she goes to the mental hospital in July. Also keep in mind that Pink Chu testified that she told Tectone's roommate 3 or so days after this questioning from the mental hospital, or around the same time, that she was afraid of Tectone, noting that his roommate did not come in to testify on her behalf. She can't even get that corroborated. So I don't see how this can be considered as anything other than crucial evidence that Pink Chu is making all of these allegations up. Now, her argument for why she didn't report to the mental hospital that she had been assaulted by Tectone is because she just didn't see it that way at the time. But again, immediately after she gets out of the hospital to collect her stuff, she tells Tectone's roommate about how scared she is. Conveniently, this change of story happens in a place where it couldn't be documented as evidence. Because, you know, if you were an abuse victim who is fleeing your house because you're afraid of your ex-boyfriend, certainly you would want to tell medical staff later so it could be used as evidence in a police investigation. This is why I don't believe anything that Pink Chu says. There are tons of holes in her story and really nothing to defend her outside of taking her word for it. Yeah. But that's not all. Before Pink Chu goes to the mental hospital, there are text messages between her and Tectone, where Tectone, or John, says, "Text me when you're on your way, and please be safe." And then she tells him what hospital she's going to be at. He also
Ah.
says, if you need me, just text me. I'm sorry you're going through this. So when I read stuff like that, I think, wow, there was so much documented evidence of Tectone being supportive, but when it comes to him being abusive, you just have to take people's word for it. Isn't that odd? This is like no case of abuse that I've ever seen. Abusive people usually leave evidence everywhere because they can't help themselves. We're not done yet. Pink Chu and Tectone's lawyer Joffrey discuss her leaving the mental hospital, and there's this part where Joffrey says, in fact, I believe he's listed, and the rest is blacked out. Judging by the context clues, I'm guessing that he's saying that Tectone was listed as an emergency contact, considering that Tectone says stuff like, if you need anything, let me know, and Pink Chu told him what hospital she was going to be at. So again, extremely weird behavior here, especially considering that Pink Chu communicates that her mom lives somewhere in the area, so why is she using her alleged abuser that she's afraid of as a contact instead of her mom? Moving on, let's talk about why a protection order was granted. In Texas, in order to get a protection order, the standard of proof is reasonable to believe. This is kind of a major issue for me when it comes to family court, and I think the law around this needs to be modified to prevent abuse, especially in cases like Tectone's.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like if you're ever in a toxic relationship with someone that you could just go to like the Texas court and be like, I want this person to stay away from me. And then the judge will be like, okay. And instead of like, because there wasn't enough proof for it to be like a criminal thing, right? But I could see how someone would just be like, you guys are toxic and you need to stay away from each other.
There is tons of counter evidence to his accuser's story. Reasonable to believe is a very low standard. It's like saying if one person thinks, yeah, that could have happened, that's enough to grant an order in Texas. This standard is even lower than the more likely than not to have happened standard, which is what we're all used to hearing about in civil court cases.
This is in Texas. I want to say this again. This is not California. This is not New York. This is not Illinois. This is not Massachusetts. This is Texas.
He's implying that it's impossible to get an order of protection in Texas when actually it seems to be fairly easy. Here's Michelle Locke, Pink Chu's lawyer, on her podcast, saying that the standard of proof in these kinds of courts is very low.
When it comes to marriage and there are abusive instances, how important is it for someone to have that documented?
Your testimony alone can be enough.
And
people think, well, really? I don't have to have pictures or bruises? I mean,
testimony alone.
Your testimony alone can be enough. And people think, well, really? I don't have to have pictures or bruises? I mean, while those things would be great and helpful, it's not a requirement because judges every day make decisions based on the credibility of witnesses. And that's the bottom line. And so the court's going to look at what you say, what he or she says, and then make the call on whether it's a believable story.
Let me remind you that Mike from PA is not a lawyer. He's an idiot propagandist who really seems to have his own boundary issues with women. Just because guns are more legal in Texas doesn't mean that this state always favors...
Wait, is that him? Wait, what? What? That's him? He looks so different. Look at the face. Look at the face that she gives. It's so funny. We're watching a video on what dating an OnlyFans girl is like. It's a video about Tectone and Pink Chu.
Boundary issues with women. Just because guns are more legal in...
What the fuck? Why is he being so weird about it?
Doesn't mean that this state always favors the right. A lot of bullshit occurs in Texas too. Also, this legal battle between Pink Chu and Tectone occurred in Travis County, which is where Austin is.
Yeah, what
Austin
was he
is like
thinking?
the California of Texas. But anyway, Pink Chu still has to prove that there is some sort of reason to believe that Tectone will be a danger to her. Before we go into this next section, I would like to point out that neither Michelle Locke or the judge really have a grasp over how social media works. Pink Chu's lawyer Michelle said in the transcripts that she doesn't really understand social media. And in this video that I found of the judge, she openly states that she doesn't really have...
Wait. She doesn't understand social media, but is trying to do like a podcast? Yeah, I don't know. Dude, oh, I feel like there's so many liars.
An interest in being online.
And so, for me, I didn't even have social media, by the way, until I knew that I had to run.
Okay, so this is very important because essentially all of Pink Chu's evidence for why she needs an order of protection and why Tectone is an ongoing threat is because of his social media posts. And if you as a judge don't understand social media, you're going to miss a ton of nuance. It's actually to the point where this court decision is quite scary.
Oh, my bad. I was thinking this was her lawyer. This is the judge. My bad. I thought he was talking about Michelle. But the judge doesn't know how to use social media or... Yeah, that's disappointing. This whole video is... I'm just getting so disappointed.
In being online.
And disappointed in people. The video is amazing. Thank you very much. The video is great. I'm so glad to be watching it. But yeah, oh my god.
Fine.
And so, for me, I didn't even have social media, by the way, until I knew that I had to run.
Okay, so this is very important because essentially all of Pink Chu's evidence for why she needs an order of protection and why Tectone is an ongoing threat is because of his social media posts. And if you as a judge don't understand social media, you're going to miss a ton of nuance. It's actually to the point where this court decision is quite scary and possibly a strong violation of the First Amendment. Personally, I think Pink Chu is taking advantage of the judge's lack of knowledge of social media and using that to lie. To talk about that, let's go to Exhibit 16, I think. This post from Tectone is still live, so I'll just show the actual tweet. It says, another OnlyFans woman lying about rape, then just moves on. No damage done to them. Ruin a man's life for 3 years. Why is this so common? This is from October 21st of 2025, nearly a year after Tectone was accused, and he's signal boosting a post talking about a friend of his from OTK, who I guess was falsely accused. I don't know that situation too well, but that's what's being talked about. Pink Chu says that she believes that the tweet was about her, and then she says that Tectone makes posts like this to try to get his fans to attack her because she does OnlyFans, which is retarded because if you look at the comments on the tweet, you can see that people aren't talking about Pink Chu.
What? This isn't even a... What? Oh my gosh. This is how some discourse happens too. It's because people are like, oh, he must be talking about me and me personally. Bruh.
You can't even find her name by doing a text search on the page. In fact, you can't see this in the court transcript, but since this tweet is still live, we know who Tectone is referring to in this tweet because he's quote tweeted a post talking about Azalea Lexi.
It's right there.
So how in the hell is this comment about Pink Chu? By the way, this is in stark difference to her allegation.
Wait. What does that tell you, actually? What is that? What does that tell you? This chick drops her case. Ruined a man's life for 3 years. Drops the case. And Pinky Chu feels like this is about her. Why is that? Why does this... Why are you relating to this? Is there something relatable about this post? Or... I don't know. This is...
Post, where the top comment essentially is saying, hey, you're talking about Tectone, right? The irony here is that Pink Chu herself made the argument in court that people wouldn't know who she's talking about because Tectone's name wasn't mentioned in her tweet. But if you know anything about the internet, the minute you start vague posting like this, tons of people in the comments are going to start asking, oh my god, who is she talking about? Which will prompt all the know-it-alls to try to be the first person to say that it's Tectone. In fact, here's me doing this with the false allegations against Turkey Tom. You can see that I don't mention Tom in the post. People are asking who I'm talking about, and if you scroll through the comments, you can see several people explaining the reference. This is not like a secret behavior that people have. Anytime some sort of inside joke or a test question is posted on social media, tons of people go to the comment section looking for the person who will explain everything. So in my opinion, Pink Chu left Tectone's name out of this post to prevent a defamation lawsuit, but left in enough clues for people to easily figure out who she was talking about, so her followers would say who it was for her. If she only wanted her friends to know about these allegations like she said in court, she wouldn't have posted it on social media. Anyway, back to Tectone. Here's where it gets scary. Remember that the order of protection was granted, meaning that Tectone is not allowed to talk about Pink Chu. Her evidence that this tweet was about her was purely on the basis of Tectone bringing up OnlyFans, and because she does OnlyFans. She actually makes this argument several times. Here's another one, Exhibit 20. This tweet is also still alive, so I'll just bring it up. He's asking for OnlyFans models to stop giving life advice because you can see them naked for less than a Fortnite battle pass.
Where's her dignity? Oh, I don't know. I heard she's selling it for $5.
This is another post where if you scroll down, you can see that nobody...
It must hurt. Damn. It's only $5. I'm a sub. Zywa, shut the fuck up. You especially need to be in the anti-Gooner propaganda chair, okay? Your eyes are going to be wide open, and you're going to be strapped to it until we have fixed you. Why me especially? Well, you were the only one out of the group of messages I just saw. Other people were like, Lamau. No, you were the only one I saw. I'll report back. Okay, thank you, freak.
He is talking about Pinkchu, yet she is suggesting that these posts are targeted at her and designed to train Tectone's audience into hating her.
Oh my god, this can... I mean... Honestly, it is very disappointing how many people this can apply to. But yeah, definitely main character syndrome for sure.
Now, if you were a judge who doesn't use social media that much, you would think, oh, well, that makes sense. Obviously, he's only mentioning OnlyFans because Pinkchu does OnlyFans. Why would anybody else talk about that? Except talking about OnlyFans girls is an entire meta of content creation that has existed for years. And I don't know, maybe it has something to do with people like Morgue Pie trying to bend Twitch's rules.
Oh my god, this chick. Anon, thank you so much. Thanks for a gift. Oh, you gave it to Zywa. Wow. Thank you.
So she can show her boobs to 13-year-olds and try to get them addicted to pornography. Maybe some of these women deserve to be criticized, so citing these posts as threats and possibly suggesting that Tectone can never talk about OnlyFans because of the order of protection, I think is a massive violation of the First Amendment. Second, in the same way that she cited...
Wait, he can't even talk about OnlyFans? Or is that just kind of the idea behind... Oh, I don't... What? Wait, I'm gonna listen to this again.
I don't know, maybe it has something to do with people like Morgue Pie trying to bend Twitch's rules so she can show her boobs to 13-year-olds and try to get them addicted to pornography. Maybe some of these women deserve to be criticized, so citing these posts as threats and possibly suggesting that Tectone can never talk about OnlyFans because of the order of protection, I think is a massive violation of the First Amendment.
Oof, yeah. Thank you, Anon. Wow, that's a 5. Thank you so much. I super appreciate. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What's the name of this guy? Think Before You Sleep is the guy who made the video. Muscle Mommy. Is she muscular? I don't know. She should not be naked on Twitch though. Thank you for the hydrate.
Second, in the same way that she cites these posts about OF, she also cites Tectone talking about illegal aliens as a threat towards her, saying, well, I'm half Mexican, so I'm almost a minority, and that means he's victimizing me with these posts.
I'm so sorry I keep pausing, but fuck. Okay, I'm just gonna keep it playing.
If this type of post counts as talking about Pinkchu, then Tectone, as a social media influencer, can't talk about the most pressing issues of the past year because his ex-girlfriend is half Mexican? This is very stupid. She continues, and I think this is the most ridiculous part, and I think it's where she takes the most advantage of the judge's ignorance of social media.
Shit.
She says that Tectone makes call-out videos on certain influencers. These kinds of videos, by the way, are extremely common on YouTube. I mean, this reads like she's suggesting that YouTube drama should be illegal. She says here that if a protective order isn't granted, then he will continue relentlessly harassing and threatening her to the point where her life will be in danger. This is absolutely ridiculous. Over the past handful of days, Tectone and Miskiff have made like 18 videos on each other. By her logic, you would think that both of them would have been dead 10 times over by now. Keep in mind that between the breakup in July and the time that Pinkchu made her allegations on November 20th, 2024, I can't find a single instance where Pinkchu's name is mentioned by Tectone.
What do I think of The whatever podcast? The whatever podcast. I can't tell you.
And she certainly doesn't provide any mentions outside of his post on November 22nd. And keep the context here in mind. Tectone and Pink Chu break up. Tectone is silent about Pink Chu until she accuses him of assault. Then Tectone makes a post saying, "I'm going to sue you if you don't apologize." In this context, he's just defending himself. Like he is being legally punished here for defending himself against allegations that had no corroborating evidence.
I think this is the main reason why.
Oh wait, sorry. Is the whatever podcast the one where it's a bunch of like manosphere guys on one end and then a bunch of like OnlyFans girls on the other end? And they're like, oh, okay, I've seen that on TikTok. I have seen that. Pretty much. Okay. My opinion of it, I don't watch a lot of it. I've seen clips, but I'm not really on either person's side because, yes, I think you should shame the OnlyFans girls, but then the way that the guys are shaming the OnlyFans girls is like kind of cringe. So I don't really like it at all. It's like, it just doesn't feel intelligent. It's brain rot. Yeah, thank you, Portal. That's like a good way to put it. It just feels very like rotty. Like my brain hurts when I listen to them. There's nothing like, yeah, I don't know. I just, some of the guys who go on that podcast, I've seen them separately off of the podcast. And I remember thinking that some of their opinions are dog shit. So it's like, yeah, it's really easy when there's a girl and she's doing OnlyFans and it's like really low hanging fruit to like shame her. You know what I mean? But it just feels like that's all that they do. And they kind of push the whole gender wars thing a little too far for my taste. So yeah. That's what I'll say about that. Andrew Wilson's the only reason I watch an episode. They invite the dumbest of the dumb most of the time. Yeah, that's true. They're not like bringing the best. They're not bringing their best. Why do you not acknowledge the gender war? It's okay. It's okay to acknowledge it, but to hyper focus on it is like, just, it's very misleading. You can get easily trapped in it, right? You can go down the route of incel behavior, which maybe the involuntarily celibate, but the woman hating. And then on the flip side, you have the women, right? And they hate the men. So it's just like not productive at all to society. At all. It just further divides us, further pits us against each other. Like, I don't like it very much. I think you can meme about it. You can meme on it and stuff like that and talk about the very real issues that we're facing, but you can't seriously just hate the opposite gender. And if you consume too much of that content, you might start to hate the opposite gender. So, you know, I think in moderation, right, you can handle these sorts of podcasts or things like that. But as long as you're aware of it, it's fine. You don't need to dive too deep into it. It's a symptom of a larger issue. That's how you got to think about it, right? Why are men having so many issues with dating? Why are women, you know, feeding into this whole girl boss culture where they don't need no man? And now you look at the bigger picture and you have, two income households, right? Where women and men are kind of forced to work to raise a family and blah, 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 blah. You know, there's like blah, 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 blah. All these things just kind of like compound on each other, and all roads lead to one answer, but I cannot give you that answer, unfortunately, because it might be against TOS. So you'll find it though. Grinning Raider, thank you for the sub. Thank you so, so much.
Why Tectone has become so extreme. And whenever you think about it, really calling somebody a rapist is one of like the top 3 things that
You just have to think about like who allows these things to happen, right? Like, why are things so bad for people? Things could be really nice. They really could, you know? Especially with America. America is a big, big, big country with lots of power, lots of money, big military. We got the firepower, you know? But yeah. That's all I'll say.
that you can say to somebody that is career destroying, career ending, or damaging.
Right, that's a career-ending allegation. And
I'm gonna rewind.
And she certainly doesn't provide any mentions outside of his post on November 22nd. And keep the context here in mind. Tectone and Pink Chew break up. Tectone is silent about Pink Chew until she accuses him of assault. Then Tectone makes a post saying, "I'm going to sue you if you don't apologize." In this context, he's just defending himself. Like he is being legally punished here for defending himself.
Sorry, one more thing. This is why I feel like it is so important that when you are in a relationship with someone, that when you do break up, you need to block them. And they need to block you. I just think it's a lot better for the mental. Like you need to close that chapter of your life and you need to go start a new one. You don't hang on to anything in the past. There's no, we're just friends, all right? Because it's going to be a consistently sore spot for you by hanging on to that baggage. It really is. Especially someone who's like, especially if you were in like a toxic relationship, right? Like, it's probably best if you're just like acquaintances, no friends. You can be cordial. You don't have to like freaking flail around and flip out on each other, but just stay away from each other. I think that is much more healthy for you. Just close that book.
Against allegations that had no corroborating evidence.
I think this is the main reason why Tectone has become so extreme. And whenever you think about it, really calling somebody a rapist is one of like the top 3 things that you can say to somebody that is career destroying, career ending, or damaging.
Right, that's a career ending allegation. And during the court case, Tectone said that he was dropped from his partnership with OTK almost immediately after Pink Chew's allegations.
Yeah.
By the way, if you're thinking she must be the innocent party because she filed for the protective order, note that protective orders get abused actually quite a lot. In fact, if you watched my video on Alexa Nicholas, who was falsely accused of leaking sealed court documents by a good friend of Taylor Lorenz, you would know that she mentioned that she had a stalker who was harassing her and her family. That stalker filed a restraining order against her. So yes, these orders can be weaponized. And speaking of that, here's the fun part. I think this was all a coordinated effort against Tectone from multiple streamers. Let's move on to another stupid argument that Pink Chew makes that you would only think is valid if you didn't understand
coordinated
social media.
effort.
On page 144, Pink Chew says that Tectone destroyed her streaming career when he made his post on November 22nd. Now, personally, I don't know the validity of her claim. She provides no evidence of this outside of saying that's what happened, and she could have just as easily nuked her own Twitch channel to hide evidence that Tectone wasn't actually abusive, since they did a lot of streams together.
Oh my gosh. Zukazan, thank you so much for the Prime sub. Ruined her Twitch. What did she... Whatever, I'm just gonna keep going. I'm like getting so triggered, but I'm trying to keep it lighthearted.
But nonetheless, she's suggesting that her online career was over and her life was ruined, which is stupid because her primary income is Fansly and OnlyFans. It's stupid because hating on OnlyFans creators only makes them more popular. Everyone who is good at social media knows that. That's why OF chicks go on podcasts like Whatever or Fresh and Fit and say dumb stuff. It's to promote their content.
When you got kicked off of Fresh and Fit the first time, how much money did you make, girl, afterwards? Like, how many...
Fresh and Fit, there's no one that does more for OnlyFans women than Fresh and Fit. You have helped sex workers more than anybody, I think, in the world. You have given us the world. Every time I come on your show, my money goes way up. And then he kicked me off, and then he invited me back on. So
the only bad press that you can get for OnlyFans is being unattractive. People don't care about the morality of a porn star. It's actually kind of a problem because you can inadvertently make the thing more popular by criticizing it. So Pink Chew suggesting that her life was over after a single tweet from Tectone, where keep in mind,
true.
he was defending himself.
It's true. You platform it, even if it's good, even if it's bad.
Against allegations with no corroborating evidence. It's his right to do that. So Pink Chew suggesting that her life was over after that tweet couldn't be further from the truth. She's now more popular than ever and has more social media followers than Tectone between Instagram and TikTok. In fact, don't take my word for it. Take it from Muujin, who said on Twitter, let it be known that from this point onward, anyone still caught defending Tectone is purposefully ignoring facts for what is most likely a desperate and pathetic attempt at gaining favor or clout. I mean, maybe, though I'm not sure what facts he was talking about. Note that he said this before the transcript was made available, so real smart of him to not wait until the evidence was public. However, you can see that he is very much on Pink Chew's side, and more importantly, you can see him stating here.
God, I don't. That was so cringe when I saw that. When I saw Muujin's post, I was like, bro, what are you doing?
That she makes significantly more money than Tectone. Weird, because a statement like that makes her look like she's the one who actually has more power, and thus makes her look like the aggressor. But here's the part where things get interesting. Again, you would have to understand social media to recognize this stuff. On this page, page 144, Pink Chew mentions a girl named Morgan, and then she says that she went to Los Angeles to do collabs. I think it was a mistake to say this, because Morgan is almost certainly Morg Pie, a person who Pink Chew has done numerous collabs with.
Not me. That's funny, because I picked that card.
Wait! That's the one who... Oh my god. They're all connected. They're all connected. Wait, that one kind of looks like Pokimane. I don't think it is, though. Right? Is it? I don't know, actually. This is the chick who, like, was doing the shirtless streams. Oh my god.
In a different group, and it was me. But I'm a big one.
Again, she's done a number of collabs with Morg Pie, like this one here at the gym. God, she must edit her photos a lot. I'm not even looking at the same person when she's on video. And
no! No! What are you doing? No! I know, Snow! Snow! You fucking gooner! What the fuck? What is this? You met them in person! Wee woo, wee woo, wee woo, wee woo! Oh my gosh. I am... What is this? Wow.
Again, she's done a number of collabs with Morg Pie, like this one here at the gym. God, she must edit her photos a lot. I'm not even looking at the same person when she's on video and in a place where she can't cake on makeup. Anyway, there's tons of video evidence of them interacting with each other and tons of tweets and stuff, so this person, Morgan, is almost certainly Morg Pie. Why is that interesting? Well, it's interesting because one of the things that Morg Pie is famous for is helping signal boost false allegations against the YouTubers who run a channel called Super Mega. Turkey Tom made a huge video on it.
Super Mega is a comedy gaming channel with almost 1 million subscribers, run by Matt Watson and Ryan McGee. Over the past 2 years, the channel has found itself mired in endless controversy. However, none would prove as devastating as those levied in July of 2023. That month, a cosplayer named Lex accused Super Mega's channel artist, Dawn, of SA. Matt and Ryan were named for mishandling the situation. This sparked enough backlash for a whole new wave of accusations to surface from former friends and employees. Lex's outright lies in her own video poisoned the well, and if her initial story about Dom was true, it is severely discredited by the various falsehoods she spread. These falsehoods were supported by her boyfriend, Ethan is online, their friend, Nick is not green, their other friend, Leighton Stollard, Morg Pie, and even Rav. All of these people spread provable lies to smear Super Mega as a brand.
Super Mega was a popular variety channel that had a podcast, and this was quite the Turkey Tom video. It's kind of like an epic set of false allegations. But where Morg Pie plays a role is that she had a crush on one of the owners named Matt. Matt didn't want to pursue a relationship, but they hooked up twice and...
Who's saying Rev? Rev? Wait, what? Filming. He did. Oh, wait, is that a Rev video? Deaf elf girl. His chin is comically long. Go back 20 seconds. What? I'm confused. Whatever. I'm just gonna keep playing.
And then I think Matt chose a different girl over her.
Honestly, I cried for months over that guy. I was like, give
Oh,
me one of
Rav.
your shirts. You know what
Oh,
I mean?
a rapper named
I posted
Rav.
a picture of me wearing the shirt I took of his onto my personal Twitter, not
Different
like my
Rev.
big one, but my other one. And he texted me after ghosting me, after I asked him if he wanted to hang out again that night. He didn't respond to me asking if he wanted to hang out again. He responded with a screenshot of the post and was like, hey, can you take this down? Like, people have seen me in that shirt, like they know that shirt. Can you just take down this post?
Did you hear the part where she said she made the post on a second account? Kind of like similar to what Pinkchu did. What an odd coincidence. To quickly sum things up, Morgpie became friends with a disgruntled ex-Super Mega employee named Layton, whose goal was to do whatever he could to ruin their career. Morgpie's purpose was to
Ew! Did you see his earlobes? Ugh. When the gauges are out. Yucky.
Whose goal was to do whatever he could to ruin their career. Morgpie's purpose was to basically signal boost and give validity to all of the provably false things that Layton was saying about Super Mega. During this time, she also doxes the ex-girlfriend and current girlfriend of one of the owners, and it seems like the doxing was intentional to get back at him for picking another girl over her. Again, these are very familiar circumstances.
So I was just talking about personal details being unnecessarily mentioned and weaponized to make me look worse, and unfortunately more people have jumped on that bandwagon. One of those people being Morgan, aka Morgpie. Morgan not only brought my current girlfriend into the situation on stream without her consent, she also name-dropped my girlfriend and revealed that we were in a relationship, which was not public information. I'm very private about my relationships, so this was a big blow. Morgan also brought my ex-girlfriend into the picture without her consent and has strongly hurt her because of this. She lied about conversations with my ex-girlfriend. She wrongly stated that I had been having a multiple-month affair with my current girlfriend while I was dating my ex-girlfriend. She also lied about not knowing who my current girlfriend was because she didn't know who that was, and she used it as a segue to name drop.
Guys, oh, fuck. This type of stuff, it just doesn't feel real. It doesn't feel real at all, but it is very, very real. It's, fuck, man.
She also
fucking
falsely
with people's
claims that I was
lives.
cheating on my current girlfriend, which is not true. They are both being harassed viciously, and their personal lives are being used as weapons to make me look worse, and I think that's completely unacceptable.
And by the way, even though the allegations were false, they still succeeded.
Hi,
Super
SD.
Mega took a huge hit, and it
A
really
break.
hasn't been the same since.
I'm
even
good.
after Super Mega was exonerated in the eyes of the public. So if you're wondering why people do these tactics and coordinate these ops on Discord and stuff, it's because they work. So where am I going with all this?
Yikes.
Well, Pinkchu's official story is that she thought her relationship with Tectone was all consensual until after the breakup and after she confided in a friend who told her that actually she was being abused. And yes, this sounds very much like I consented to sex and then changed my mind later. It's like 2015 college feminist behavior. Anyway, my personal opinion is that the friend who Pinkchu talked to was Morgpie, which is why her name randomly slips in the transcript. And I think the actual reason that Pinkchu is doing all of this is because she's mad that Tectone broke up with her, and she's mad that he is with someone else after she clearly was still into him when the relationship ended, based on texts that were shown in court. And what I mean is that on page 113, after the breakup, before she goes into the mental hospital, she's talking about how much she loves him and says, "I'm sorry if I ever hurt you. I'm going to get a full psych evaluation and get some real help." So I've read certain parts of this transcript a lot of times, particularly this part, and here it sounds like the actual story is that she was having regular psychological breakdowns. He got tired of putting up with it, so her going to the mental hospital was like, "No, wait, I swear I'll change." I would also guess that she was threatening self-harm if he broke up with her, which is why she's saying, "I'm sorry if I ever hurt you," which again, makes her look like the abuser because threatening self-harm is emotional blackmail. Honestly, this visit to the mental hospital looks like some sort of bargain to get him back after the breakup, and I think the actual reason that Pinkchu acted out on social media is because she's pissed off that Tectone moved on to somebody else. Based on the information that I've shown, I don't think this is that much of a stretch. Now, pay attention to who Pinkchu's friend Morgpie is friends with. Would it shock you if I said that Hassan Piker is a friend of hers?
Oh my god, it is what we were talking about yesterday. They're all connected. This is crazy. No wonder he was talking about the being a conspiracy, like, you know, not a tinfoil hat kind of conspiracy, but like a conspiracy. Wow, it's all coming together. It's all starting to make sense.
I don't know how every bad thing on social media always relates back to this social circle, but it seems to be the case.
Aw,
Why
little
is that
puppy.
important? Well, Hassan Piker has this
Okay.
ongoing war with Asmongold, probably
Yeah.
because he's mad that Asmon is more famous than him. Hassan likes to sit back and have his little lackeys do all the dirty work for him. This is a famous tactic of his, and he primarily works by not directly saying that he has certain values, but he will signal boost all the people who have the values that he wants to promote by watching their content on his stream. That being said, Tectone is friends with Asmongold. Hassan wants to attack Asmongold in any way that he can, so I think his lackeys came up with a plot to destroy Tectone. They do this a lot. Recently, Girl Hassan and promoter of incest, aka Denims,
Girl Hassan and promoter of incest. What a title.
randomly attacked Emiru for being friends with Asmon.
What? Yeah. Wow. Oh, this video must be recent if he's talking about this stuff. This was probably made a few days ago.
Promoter of incest, aka Denims, randomly attacked Emiru for being friends with Asmongold and for not talking about her politics, which was stupid and pointless.
Racist chud. Emma is friends with Asmongold, Lakari, Tectone, plus she thinks Ethan Klein's lawsuits are justified.
Asmongold's a bad person. Tectone is a bad person.
But going back to Tectone, seeing that Morgpie has already been involved in conspiracy behavior against Super Mega, I don't think it's that unreasonable to say that this tactic is being repeated a lot. Ethan Klein being yet another example of a person who Hassan's social circle has conspired against. So basically, the lackeys create the noise, and then Hassan does stuff like signal boost false information about Tectone that was said by Miskiff.
Apparently, Miskiff sent like a court reporter to the court to take notes in this process. Then he brought Hasanabi saying, like how when he shocked his dog. So apparently, he did a right-wing pivot, and he thought that, but Hasanabi bad would work in a court of law. This is why I always say nobody grifts to the left.
Sorry, that last line wasn't super relevant, but it was so stupid that I had to include it. If you read the court transcript, it was actually Pink Chu's lawyer who brings up that Hassan abuses animals, not Tectone. And the reason it was brought up was because of a retarded counter-argument that Pink Chu's lawyer made about the allegations against Tectone having no effect on how much hate he gets, because he brings up things like Hassan.
Okay, so do you blame the current death threats that you are getting? Are they a direct result of my client's statements back in November of 2024 on her sub-account? Answer, I would absolutely say they were one of the root causes as well as an exacerbation. Okay, so it doesn't have anything to do with your current white privilege comments and propaganda and racist towards whites. That has nothing to do with your death threats. Is this correct?
The allegations against Tectone having no effect on how much hate he gets, because he brings up things like Hassan shocking his dog. It was...
How about your stance on trans children? Has that gotten you death threats? Of course. Okay, so that didn't come from my client, correct? Correct, but those are far after this whole ordeal happened. Okay, but upon questioning from your lawyer, you blamed my client for these death threats. Yeah, they're, well, for the ones in regards to me being a rapist, of course. Why wouldn't I? Okay. I don't think people like rapists too much. Yeah. Sorry, that's like a really funny line. I don't think people like rapists too much. Yeah. Yeah. Wow, okay. What? So, like, what is this conversation? Golly.
Such a stupid part of the transcript because Pink Chu's lawyer is arguing that Pink's pretty direct allegations against Tectone on Twitter of one of the most horrific crimes didn't really have an effect on how many threats he gets because nobody could figure out that she was talking about him despite numerous people in the comments saying that it was Tectone. But when Tectone says any random thing about OnlyFans, even when he's showing that he's referencing a different person, it's an immediate threat to Pink Chu's life. So again, I think there's a bigger thing going on here where a bunch of people are collaborating with Pink Chew to try to destroy Tectone, Morgue Pie being one of them. By the way, these people...
I'm gonna be honest, I wouldn't believe a woman that mentions getting plastic surgery during a court case unless there's actual definitive proof about the allegations. Yeah, well, apparently in Texas, all you need is your word to get these protective orders and to get your guns taken away. It's amazing. It's all these legal shenanigans that can just absolutely ruin someone's life or just mess it up for a while.
People are often stupid, so they leave tons of evidence lying around. Here's Mizkif going on a huge tirade during his Tectone video.
You're living through
where he's
it?
basically
I'm
blowing
sorry,
Hassan
Hack.
and the rest of the LA streamer scene.
You attacked Hassan for months, years now, shitting on Hassan, farming so much hate on the guy, acting like he's a problem. You're farming hate on Hassan Piker all fucking day, Frogan, people that are doing shit. You attacked Pokimane, Cutie Cinderella.
I don't think it's that much of a stretch to say that these people are talking, especially considering they live in the same area. I mean, Mizkif flat out admits to talking to Pink Chew, but you know, not out of...
He's moved, right? Like, Tectone, I think, has moved. I hope so. Yes. Okay. I thought so, but I hope so. So that's good to get some confirmation. Because, yeah, I mean, if you got all these people living around you, you gotta get out. Woo.
concern for her well-being, but to
A
point
San
out that she didn't
Antonio,
think it was
I see.
weird when he shook her
Still
hand
in
for too long that
Texas,
one
okay.
time.
Then me and his ex-girlfriend started to talk, and I'm like, what? And she's like, yeah, I never ever said that in my fucking life. Why the fuck would I care about that? Like, I did not shake her hand a long time.
You can watch Miska for about 60 seconds and easily see that this guy only cares about himself. Personally, I think all of this drama farming for him is just to make people not pay attention to his ex-girlfriend Emiru's allegations, saying that he was pretty abusive.
After like all of that Rust stuff happened was when the other domestic abuse stuff really started. He would destroy furniture in front of me. He would throw things in front of me and near me. Destroy walls. Again, you can go see this in some of his VODs in his bedroom. The holes in the wall.
You can see it in the VODs? What? This all happened when I was on hiatus, by the way, so I never really got the chance to like look into all this. I heard about the Kirby plushies, that he's like got some PTSD from Kirby plushies or something, but wow. Are you wearing shoes today? Nope, not today.
Be times where he was upset at me and I would go to my stream room and literally lock myself in to get away from him, and he would be banging on the door and screaming at me. At the time, he also would more often do things like if we were driving in the car together, he would be going like 150 miles an hour, and like one time he even said like, well, now we're both gonna die, like threatening to kill both of us.
Interesting story. So we have Miskiff talking to Pingshu. Well, of course he was talking to Pingshu because he couldn't have known about the court date and where to send his court reporter to take a bunch of factually inaccurate notes. In fact, this idiot friend of Miskiff's who goes by Axion publicly admits to being invited to the court by Pingshu.
He knows me. I think he tried to get me kicked out or something. I can only assume that's not for sure because the bailiff came over and asked me, "Are you here for her?" And she was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Yeah." Did Pig know? I said, "Yeah, she signed me up to be there."
What an idiot to have admitted that.
Whoa. Wow. Confirmed.
So now we know that Miskiff and Axion's involvement was directly approved by Pingshu, which is interesting because it seems to be the case that Miskiff has gone on a full-on disinformation campaign against Tectone, where he spreads numerous lies that are easy to disprove if you just look at the court transcript. So now I believe this chick even less. If she was being honest, then she wouldn't have to side with people who constantly make statements of fact that are easy to verify as false. Here's another stupid one that Miskiff said.
And has to pay all of her attorney fees, which is hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's not a small price.
Miskiff, if this is how factually accurate you are in reporting a story, then you should go work for CNN. The fees were around $15,000. It's said out loud in the courtroom,
okay.
so his friend would have heard it. And you think a guy like Miskiff, who has his own allegations of abuse and is saying,
Hello, Motorcat. I am in love with you. Oh my god. Is this an anime confession? This is what happens when insecure people get in relationships with streamers whose income depends on spending more time with chat than their partner. Back in line, pal. Yeah, get in line. Gets rejected by a streamer. There's a line. Like, I think last night there were, like, 2 people who asked for my hand in marriage. Stop, guys. I'm gonna get a big head. My ego is gonna get incredibly inflated and my mods are gonna get really mad at me. I need to humble myself. Only 2... I think it was just last night when I couldn't go to bed. It was like 1 a.m., I think. Farming those rings? Yeah, we got a whole collection, I guess. Powder, will you be my first ex-wife? Ex-wife? Aw, that's sad. That's not a compliment. Sinister, thank you for the Prime sub. Appreciate it. Reverse harem when? Oh, that's every female streamer. Let's be honest. I'd marry her too, but I'm not parasocial enough to post it in chat. Wait, but you just... Wait! Ah, shit, I read your message. You've been outed. Get in line, pal. Well, thank you guys. It's a very big compliment. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
You can be my 10th Mormon wife, Powder Flower.
10th more... Sheesh! Lucky number 10! Wow! What's my job? Guys, stop it. I want to watch the video. I'm too lazy to go to YouTube. Okay, I got you. We'll keep watching. I see my ego is... I gotta watch the video.
they aren't true.
Ah, thank you for the subs. Oh, shit. Sir Chimpson. Oh, that's a funny name. Chimpson. Huh. I've never heard that before. Thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Thank you so much. A sir. Okay.
Would be more careful to accurately report information.
Gart,
especially
I see
considering
you.
that this stuff is so easy to look up. Anyway, Miskiff also graciously leaked his own DMs, showing that he was talking to Mike from PA, another Hassan orbiter, who went on to repeat other bombastic things about Tectone.
So there you have it, chat. Tectone is a rapist. He is a stalker. He's a danger to the community, and he should absolutely...
Oh my god, it is so annoying. Just saying rapist. It's like for men on social media, what I've seen, the words slung around are rapist and pedophile. For women, it's just grifter, Nazi, or something like that. Or racist, grifter. I see most of that. But, yeah, words, what do they mean?
100% be permanently banned from Twitch. And
Pick me something. Although pick me is like, I don't know, it doesn't really feel like a insult, to be honest. that really doesn't feel like an insult, right? Like when you call someone a racist, that has more consequences. When you call someone a pick me, it's not, nothing's gonna happen with that.
Someone explain to me why he's not been permanently banned from Twitch.
That is real crazy coming from a guy who was trying to get one of his viewers to assassinate a YouTuber he didn't like.
What?
Or was him simping over the $5 a month girl the more egregious offense? And last, as far as I've been able to find, I think Denims is a part of this as well, because she was openly saying that it was Tectone being accused of sexual assault before that was public. So personally, in my opinion, I think this whole situation was not because Pink Chew was afraid of Tectone. I think it was a coordinated effort by people who hate Tectone to try to ruin his career. I mean, also, she has no proof that he's abusive outside of her saying he is. And let me elaborate on what I'm talking about. When Emiru accused Miskiff of being abusive, she brought receipts. She had Discord messages and then like a million schizo texts that he sent her after the breakup. Now I'm more likely to believe what she says because she can show documented behavior that supports her accusations. As for Tectone, the only time he mentions Pinkchu is after she accuses him of abuse, and what's really going on here is that she made an allegation with no corroborating evidence. Tectone says that's not true, and now he's getting legally punished for it. It's actually disturbing how often these types of situations happen. I mentioned recently that Turkey Tom was falsely accused by an ex-girlfriend of his in a situation that is strikingly similar to Tectone's, where 4 days after the breakup, she goes on to Kiwi Farms to accuse him of physical abuse, filming with
Kiwi Farms? What?
without consent and engaging
I've heard about Kiwi Farms. That's where people get doxxed.
in weird fetishes.
Recently, I've been accused by an ex-girlfriend, along with an ex-partner, of non-consensually filming sexual encounters, being so rough and inconsiderate during sexual encounters that it bordered on assault, encouraging eating disorders, being into age play, along with a litany of other completely baseless, false accusations.
The reality was that his ex-girlfriend Rowan was actively consenting to everything, including being filmed. She had a bunch of creepy fetishes, and she was trying to push Tom into behavior that he didn't want to engage with.
Oh, what the fuck? Hi.
He never asked me. He would just pull out his phone and record. I wouldn't notice until maybe 30 seconds in a minute or a minute into it.
Now, I obviously can't and would never show these videos to anyone, but in them, it's undeniable that she is staring directly into the camera from the moment the video starts, because the reality is that every single time we recorded, I had explicit permission. Rowan texts me saying, quote, "Rape thing is so hot." My response to this is consensual sex is good.
It's funny because Tom sends texts like the FBI is watching. I just want to make sure that we've established that this is all consensual, okay?
No, that's smart. That's very smart. Good for him.
Coming.
In the interview, it stated that our breakup took place in December, and that after that, she realized how bad it was, and she felt the need to contact Katie, who we're going to get into later.
Gee, where have I heard that one before? If you watch Tom's video on the false allegations against him, it's an incredibly similar story to Tectone's, except I think Tom is a little bit more conscientious about this stuff, and so he made sure to have evidence of his ex openly saying that she would blackmail him if they didn't get back together.
Immediately after I told Rowan that I wanted to break up with her, she began threatening to post about me online.
I'm gonna make it hard for you to ever be in a relationship.
Okay, Rowan, I just want to move on and have my life, and you'll move on and have your life. And we can be in our own corners. We don't have to do damage to each other.
Like, do you think we'll ever be able to see each other?
After the way these conversations have gone today, I really don't think so.
Why?
Because you're, like, threatening to blackmail me.
I'm not. Well, if you don't come see me, then I will.
You know what's great about all this? Despite that Tom has her recorded saying that
Wow.
she will blackmail him, there really isn't much remedy you can get against someone for false allegations unless you sue them for defamation, which is expensive and hard to prove, and it's why people feel safe in falsely accusing somebody. And then asshats like Hassan will boost the false allegations without critical thought or saying, where's the evidence?
By the way, one of your OG slop tuber ops, Turkey Tom, also caught a sexual assault allegation where he physically abused 2 of his exes. This didn't even reach your radar because he's laying low. No, it didn't reach my radar because I have so many fucking ops that have done like sexual assault that I don't even know who the fuck this one is. But that's crazy.
There he is, just agreeing with and validating the allegation with no pushback, despite knowing nothing about it. Luckily, Tom knew the exact way to humiliate his ex for blackmailing him and how to prove his innocence. But for average people, this can be life-destroying, and there's not really much you can do about it. Anyway, let's go to the court decision. Like everyone else, I already knew the results before I read this transcript, and I was still shocked to see this. Based on the testimony and the evidence that's been provided to the court does find that there are reasonable grounds to believe that the applicant is the victim of sexual assault. The court makes the additional finding that there are reasonable grounds to believe that the applicant is the victim of stalking and will grant a 10-year protective order. The court means the judge, by the way. The judge made this decision, just to make it clear that this was not a trial by jury. Some additional things. Tectone has to pay $15,000 in lawyer fees to Pinkchu. He can't go anywhere near her. Who cares about that? He obviously doesn't want to go near her. He has lost his right to own a firearm for 10 years, which is nuts considering she didn't really have any evidence that Tectone was dangerous. Wow. And he's not allowed to talk about her, which again is also ridiculous, not because he can't say the name Pink Chu for 10 years, but because of the criteria they consider to be a conversation about Pink Chu. As in, if Tectone ever talks about OnlyFans in a negative light, is he liable for criminal charges? This is insane. Knowing nothing going in, I don't think any reasonable person would have agreed with the judge here. So I started researching on who this person is. Judge Dimple Malhotra. If you go to her website, it basically describes her as an activist who started out by working in San Francisco, California.
No.
Remember how I said that Austin is the
Bay Area? Okay.
California of Texas? Also this.
It is so incredibly important that we celebrate and embrace diversity. And I think it's just so important for, even for this courtroom, when people walk into this courtroom and they're from different ethnicities, cultural backgrounds, socioeconomic statuses, to be able to walk in and see someone who looks like
he already lost. The second he walked into that courtroom, he already lost. She didn't even need to look at anything. Didn't even need to listen to what people had to say. I think she made up her mind.
Like me, I think provides a certain level of comfort to them.
An immigrant who grew up in the U.S. with a family environment deeply rooted in Indian culture. Judge Dimple Malhotra is the first and only person of South Asian descent elected to a judicial seat in Travis County history. Oh, great. So she's one of those people where we have to focus on their race instead of their qualifications.
You know, oftentimes I think, especially for me, being an immigrant, being a woman of color.
Basically, I'm saying the judge is woke. Now, there were a bunch of arguments made by Pink Chu's lawyer that didn't really make sense to me. I mean the ones where she brings up Tectone talking about anti-white racism. What does that have to do with this case? What does it have to do with Pink Chu?
That's what I was saying earlier when I was like, okay, like, what is this conversation? It was just her way of trying to, like, get him in a catch him saying something.
Why did Pink Chu bring up that she's half Mexican? Why are they making arguments that are irrelevant and would clearly make a judge who ran as a Democrat think that Tectone is a racist? Keep in mind that this court case is occurring on January 23rd of 2026, which is during a bunch of anti-ICE riots and after Renee Good died. These are very politically polarized things to bring up that I think aren't relevant to Tectone's case. I'm guessing that maybe Pink Chu's lawyer did some research on the judge, and maybe this is why Judge Malhotra didn't notice things like Pink Chu's lawyer victim-blaming Tectone for his abuse as a child in her opening statements, something that was immediately noticeable to me. I mean, this statement right here very much makes it seem like Pink Chu was trying to use shame to force.
When he was in 3rd grade, Tectone's sister tried to infect him with parasites/crabs. I think it's abusive, bullying behavior to blame him for this, particularly when it's the first argument that Michelle Locke makes when she starts the cross-exam. No wonder she's divorced. Ooh. Wow.
Tectone into sex acts that he was uncomfortable with because of his childhood trauma. Wouldn't it be ironic if that were the case?
Because you spent your career doing domestic violence cases and you have a background, some might think that it would be hard for you to be impartial as the judge.
Right.
So how do you maintain your impartiality?
As a prosecutor, I took an oath to seek justice, not conviction. And so people have to remember that and that not to say that there aren't prosecutors in the world who are doing the wrong thing. Unfortunately, with every profession, you have people who really shouldn't be in that profession, who are there for the wrong reason. I took an oath as a judge to be fair and impartial. And that is also incredibly important. People walking into your courtroom deserve your impartiality and to listen to their side of the story.
That was hard to listen to considering her decision on Tectone's case. How do you stay impartial? That's easy. The answer is she doesn't. Now, this does seem like a random question to ask. So why was it brought up? Well, the answer to that, I think, is a much bigger issue than the diversity stuff from earlier. The answer, I think, is a massive conflict of interest. I believe...
Verid. If she was my judge for a speeding ticket, I'd probably kill myself. Never mind the shit. Oh, Verid. Verd, no, Verd. Don't do it. You can recover from a speeding ticket. You can. It's gonna be okay, man. Yeah, I understand the sentiment, though.
The answer is she doesn't. Now, this does seem like a random question to ask, so why was it brought up? Well, the answer to that, I think, is a much bigger issue than the diversity stuff from earlier. The answer, I think, is a massive conflict of interest. I believe she was asked that question because a few years prior to this interview, there was an article written on her about how a lawyer got her taken off his case because of her domestic violence activism. Now, I think that trying to stop domestic violence is great. However, I also agree with the defense attorney Steve Brand, who says that her activism makes her biased towards alleged victims, and there's no way he could win a case with her as a judge. He also kind of recommends that every defense lawyer should be filing a motion to remove her from their case. And personally, after reading the transcript of Tectone's hearing, I agree. And in my armchair internet lawyer opinion with 2020 hindsight, Tectone's lawyer should have gotten Judge Dimple removed and gone with somebody else. I'm curious how many other people like Tectone she's done this to, where the accuser has no corroborating evidence mixed in with strong counter evidence against her story.
A lot of people don't know that there's a huge intersection between gun violence and domestic violence. All the studies that have been done show us that over half of the cases where there have been mass shootings, the mass shooter has had a history of domestic violence.
Did I hear that correctly? Is this why Tectone has to be treated like a felon for something that, after reading the transcript, I don't think he did?
10 years,
It looks like she's on some sort of anti-gun crusade, which is why she took his access to firearms away for a decade. For a decade, when he's a streamer, which puts his life in danger. Has she ever heard of the phrase correlation does not equal causation? What evidence do you have that Tectone's going to crash out and become like a mass shooter or something? Is this why Pink Chew's...
Honestly, with all the shit he's been through... It's very good that he's in the gym with Sophia because whew, thank goodness he is a lot more mentally stable than other people out there, because things like this will break someone and they might just, you know, I don't want to say anything, but good for him. Shoot, man, life's rough.
His lawyer tried to associate him with white supremacy? Is it also why Pink Chew's lawyer, immorally in my opinion, pretended to be a medical expert on schizophrenia to frame Tectone as an unmedicated psycho who could break any time? By the way, Tectone got re-diagnosed and he doesn't have schizophrenia.
I went to a psychiatrist yesterday.
Oh, I watched
guys,
this.
I'm not schizophrenic. The psychiatrist believes the reason why I see things that aren't there, mainly, well, at night, is due to the fact that I got stabbed in my left eye and my right eye is normal. And so they believe that my eyeballs are causing me to temporarily hallucinate things that aren't there because they're not signaling my brain properly. And what they believe that I have is anxiety with bad vision, as well as unresolved childhood trauma. And so I was going to actually try to get medicated. They said I do not require medication.
You have to read the transcript to get to the level of fuck these people that I'm at. Basically what's happened here is that to a judge who appears to be in favor of DEI and appears to be anti-gun, Pink Chew's lawyer framed Tectone as a violent, unmedicated, schizophrenic neo-Nazi. Tectone is also bald, so he might as well be seen as a skinhead, too. No wonder this trial ended the way it did. This is so messed up, and I don't just think this is a violation of the First and the Second Amendment.
It's a very serious thing, but it's just those words in, like, quick fuck, I can't speak. You understand what I'm saying. It's just like, holy shit. Yeah, that's how social media sees him, too.
But also a violation of the Eighth Amendment against cruel and unusual punishment. It's also clear to me, in my opinion, based on the evidence that I've shown, that a big part of the reason that Pink Chew filed for this protective order is to avoid a defamation lawsuit. Maybe Tectone's biggest mistake here was being openly arrogant around all this during his live streams, but it's hard to blame him because who in the hell would have thought that he would have lost this case based on the evidence in the court transcripts?
Right.
And you know what the real messed up thing is? Well, I said it already. Pink Chew most likely will not receive any consequences for this. and Tectone will probably not be able to win an appeal because of how appeals court works. The sad truth is that there is very little recourse for victims of false allegations, and if Pink Chu were found to be lying, which, in my opinion, she was, there's basically nothing that you can do outside of suing for defamation, which is incredibly expensive, hard to prove, and Tectone likely would not win a defamation case because the order of protection was granted. Well, if he's even allowed to file a lawsuit like that at this point. On top of that, this horrendous...
There's gotta be at least something, right? I mean...
This court decision will give protection to people such as Hassan Piker, Denims, Mike from PA, and Miskiff when they call Tectone an abuser, and when they repeatedly lie about the facts of the case.
There was also, and this is confirmed, he had recordings of some of the sexual assaults and his victim in sexually compromising positions, and was ordered to delete all of them or else he was going to prison that day. The judge said, if you don't delete them right now, I'm going to put you in prison myself.
This is yet another lie. This did not happen. All the judge said was to not share explicit content of Pink Chu that was privately filmed. As for Tectone, on his return to live streaming after a long break, he stated that he wants to respect the court's decision and move on.
I lost the civil case. I did, but I do genuinely want to respect the court's decision. I believe, even though I lost the case, I do believe that this still gets me to where I want to go, which is for all parties to simply move on. That's pretty much all I want, is for everybody to go their separate ways. To be able to move on and find solace and peace in their life. Genuinely.
That's a very kind way to put it. I'd be a lot more mad. I mean, I was furious at the court's decision after doing the research, and this isn't even my life. But in times like this, I think we can look back on the words of wisdom from Keemstar about it being a stupid idea to date a chick who does OnlyFans. Anyway, thanks for watching. Follow me on Twitter, and I'll see you in the next video.
Moral of the story. Don't date an OnlyFans girl. Oof. Oof. I mean, these guy streamers have had some pretty terrible experiences with it. Thank you. I know the claps are for him. If you guys do want to watch this video yourself, if I was being too annoying about my pausing, you can watch it. It was released 2 days ago by Think Before You Sleep. And give it a like. He makes some pretty good videos. Again, I didn't really have much to add myself. I mean, he did all the research. So, woo-wee. I mean, he's a pretty large YouTuber though, with 1 million subscribers. So just because him talking about, you know, Mizkif and Hassan and those people, they're for sure not gonna like this guy, and they might even go after him one day, but sounds like he's kind of prepared for that. So we'll see. The only thing more retarded than a guy paying for porn is a guy paying for OnlyFans, and the only thing more retarded than is a guy dating an OnlyFans girl. A guy paying for porn and a guy paying for OnlyFans. Wait, those are the same, aren't they? They're the same, huh? Your pausing is exactly how you should do React content. You added a good amount. Well, thank you. That's nice of you. I was worried that I was like just watching. I was just a spectator. What a long video though. Is Tectone generally liked in the VTuber community? Randomly clicked on this stream, don't know the lore.
Guess what? There's a service that collaborated with so now you can take out a loan to Goon.
Among the VTubers that actually make content, I would say he is okay. Either they don't talk about him or they have had good experiences with him. The ones that don't make content, that are just on Twitter, do not like him. But from what I've heard, he has done like collaborations with like Shy Lily. He's also like defended her in past dramas and stuff. So he, I believe, is friendly with Nux Taku, which I know is well hated in the VTuber community, but he is a VTuber himself. Okay, Kirsha and Silvervale. I don't see anyone like Shy Lily or Silvervale speaking out in his favor ever. I think they just like collaborated with him once and then like fucked off. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know. Also, Muujin stabbed Tectone in the back. Oh yeah, Muujin's fucking so stupid. Muujin's a little emotional. Nanners and Lord Ethelstan, surely. I don't know. I don't know anything about that relationship there. I think like for instance, I speak favorably of Tectone. I like the guy. I like watching his content. I think even though he has like a very abrasive personality, I think he's there's a certain genuine factor to it that I like. So I speak favorably of him. And what else? I can't think of anyone else. Sorry. Yeah, just like there's me. There's I guess Shy Lily, Silvervale. Someone said Kirsha. I could believe that Kirsha likes Tectone too. I think Kirsha's more of like an Asmongold type of girl, but I'm not positive on that. But yeah. So basically talking and reacting to streamers that are political basically drags you into whatever controversy they're currently going through or something. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. If you show support for one side, you are going to be pit against the other side. Yes. Yep. I feel like Alana is chill with him. I could believe that. But again, it's like I really don't know of any other VTubers out there that are openly supportive of Tectone that post on Twitter publicly about him. Because there's a lot of people like behind the scenes, you know, that have their own private conversations about who they like and who they support. But they would never make a Twitter post about it. They would never talk about it on stream. And yeah, that can definitely sway some public opinion there. If you're a streamer and you even follow Powder on Twitter, you get axed from the VTuber community. That's true. That's very true. But there's actually a whole list. It's not just me, guys. There's a whole list of people that they hate. They just keep throwing more people onto this list. They really are. I think it's just their effort of trying to get attention. They're either not talented enough or not interesting enough. They're lazy when it comes to content creation, and so the only way for them to get attention is to talk badly about you on Twitter so they can get little pats on the back from people that will never watch them or support them. So yeah, they get their their 5 seconds of fame that way.